Times are hard these days, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a little bit obsessed with finding ways to save money or be frugal. I'm currently 9 months into maternity leave. I've got 3 months left, and our income is starting to get to the point where it's very low now. So I'm having to really take a step back and look at how we spend our money, where we spend our money, and take action to make cutbacks. There are a few habits I have managed to adopt over the past few years that have helped me save money personally. So I just wanted to share some of those with you today. The first thing I have sort of looked at is there obviously are areas in your day-to-day life where you have to spend money. So for example, food, if you've got young kids, clothes, even if you haven't got young kids, for yourself you are eventually going to have to buy clothes. So I've tried to focus in on those areas. If we talk about clothes first, I have got 2 young children, so my daughter is 3 and my son is 9 months. So there is obviously a lot of need for new clothes as they are growing, especially my son, who is getting through clothes quite quickly at the minute because they grow so fast at that age. Vinted is the way to go. Vinted, I feel like, has come from nowhere and suddenly it's this massive thing. I use Vinted every single day now for selling clothes. So some things I do give to charity of theirs. Most things I will put on Vinted. If you haven't used Vinted before, it is so easy to sell on there. You can upload something in 20 seconds. It's just take a picture, list the details, and it's up. It's such an easy app to use and I have found it amazing. So far I have made £350 on Vinted just from selling the kids' clothes. And I've still got loads left to go, which is amazing. You're never going to get the full price back for what you paid for it, but you can get a good chunk, especially if it's in really good condition. And it's so easy to ship it as well. The label is all sorted out for you. The buyer pays the postage. You just have to pop it in a bag, print the label, take it to the in-post lockers at the supermarkets. So easy to make money that way. And it's not just kids' clothes or clothes. You can sell pretty much anything on Vinted. Toys, books, anything like that. If you aren't familiar with the app, I do recommend that you download it and take a look at it. And not only selling on Vinted, but buying secondhand as well. Especially for kids when they do get through clothes sizes so fast. It is a great place to get second-hand clothes because they are often in amazing condition. And you can filter it by what condition you want as well. Often I buy my daughter's nursery clothes from Vinted and I know they're only going to get wrecked anyway, so if I can spend £2 on a pair of trousers that have got a small stain on it compared to going to the shop and buying her a £10 pair of trousers that are only going to get stains on them, that is the way to go. I have saved so much money by using this app and I do highly recommend it for buying and selling. Also, as I mentioned, food. So we currently shop in Lidl and our Tesco is just around the corner from me. Lidl's not much further, but Tesco is a lot closer. I do find it a nicer place to shop. You can obviously get your click and collect, pick it up at the shop or have it delivered, but that is a more expensive supermarket. They do a lot of Aldi price matches, and I know the other supermarkets that are similar to Tesco, like Asda, Sainsbury's, they do similar things like that, and you can buy cheaper options there. But Aldi and Lidl are the cheaper supermarkets. I have done like price comparisons between the two at times to see how much cheaper it is for me. Quite often our shop comes out about £10 cheaper when we go to Lidl, which maybe that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's £40–50 a month. Obviously over the course of a year that's over £500, so it's quite a lot of money when you think about it like that. Lidl have now got a similar like reward card, like similar to the club card or Nectar, and every week you scan and you get free items, and I think if you spend over £250 a month you get 10% off your shop, which is quite a big chunk. So for us, that makes sense for me right now to be going to Lidl because it is saving me money. And carrying on with the whole food thing, I have read before that the main place that people overspend their money is on food. I don't know how people do this. I have meal planned for quite a long time now, so each week I just write down what meals that we're going to have on each day, write down the ingredients we need, and then we'll go and buy those things. We do still need to go to the shop sometimes midweek if we run out of bread and things like that. But if I was to go to a supermarket and have no idea what we were going to eat that week, what do you buy? I genuinely don't understand how people do that, but I know people do. It saves food waste, and obviously it saves you money because you're not spending your money on food that you're going to chuck in the bin. Don't get me wrong, we do still have food waste in this house, but it is not to the extent it would be if we did not meal plan. It's so easy to meal plan as well. We literally just have a list of the meals that we like and we just pick some throughout the week. Obviously sometimes the plan might go out the window, you know, we might change our mind or something might happen that means we can't eat that meal that night. Overall, it does save us money by doing that. I will also do things like if we have bought something one week that has only got a couple of weeks lifespan, I will obviously plan it then for the next week as well so that it gets used up and it doesn't just get chucked away. Another small thing that I do is to buy larger items. Obviously, if you've got a smaller house, it's not the most ideal. My kitchen is quite small, but you do save money by doing this. So buying larger bottles of fabric softener, bigger condiments. I buy a large pack of nappies. I know I'm going to use those things, and it is cheaper to buy them in bigger sizes. It's not mass amounts, but like I said, it does all add up eventually. So it does make sense to do that. And if things are on offer as well, I will always make sure to stock up on them when they are on offer because you are going to save money. Quite often with Tesco, they do the club card prices, but they change it up here and there. So the mayonnaise we buy, sometimes it's half price on club card and sometimes it's not. So that means I'm paying nearly an extra £1.50 when it's not on offer, which we get free mayonnaise a lot in this house. So I buy like 2 or 3, and same with butter. Often that's half price. Going to buy 2 or 3. It's little things like that that over time do add up. This one is more of like an actual habit in yourself rather than spending money. If you are going to buy something that you don't need, it's more of a want. Just ask yourself if you actually really do want it, because quite often we just want something because it makes us feel better in the moment. I found I used to be like that with clothes, especially. Like I would just want to buy something, so I'd buy it and then it'd just sit in the wardrobe and I wouldn't even want it. So actually taking the time to think, do I want this? Especially if it's something you've seen online. Normally I would put it in my basket, and if after a few days I still want it, I will buy it, but quite often I actually just don't want it, and it was just sort of an in the moment thing. Taking a step back in those moments, I have found has really helped me develop that habit of, do I really want this? And often the answer is no. This is a really good tool to use as well, cashback websites. So the ones that I use are Quidco and Top Cashback. So all you have to do is download the apps on your phone. If you're needing to buy something online, go onto the app, search the shop. Sometimes they're not on there, but quite often there are offers and you can get a percentage back of what you spend. So I always check both apps. Normally Top Cashback is better and you get more of a percentage back, but sometimes Quidco just win, and all shops aren't on both apps, so one might have them whereas the other one doesn't. You can get some really good money back, especially if you're spending a lot of money. So if you're buying appliances, insurance, even holidays, you can get money back. I think the most I have ever got back in one go was about £75 when I bought car insurance. They often have really good deals on things like that. If you're buying new tyres or things for the car, always such a good place to look because you can save so much money. It may not seem like a lot each time you buy, but over time, especially if you've used it for a few years, you can really make some money back on this sort of stuff. And the final thing I am going to end on is to get yourself money motivated. I find saving is quite addicting, and once you get to a stage where you can see that you're saving money, it is quite exciting. So I find ways to get excited by things like that is to look at people that are, you know, financially knowledgeable. So Dave Ramsey is a good one. He is an American guy who is all about money. Martin Lewis, obviously, he's UK. There's just so many videos you can watch that sort of give you tips and tricks and make you feel genuinely excited about having money. That is the way I have found motivation to save money rather than spend money. I hope if you've watched this far into the video, you found this insightful and helpful. I do have other videos planned around this topic, so if you are interested in those, please subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.